A local film producer and director has made a Christmas film that's getting some play on the big screens for a short run.
Yeah, that film was also made entirely in Grand Rapids with almost an entirely local cast and crew. It's called A Soldier for Christmas. And we've got that director right here. Greer is his name. He's also the owner of Next Horizon Studios, joining us to tell us about it. Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to be here.
Well, we're happy you are because we love local, right?
Yep.
Tell us about the film story. How did you decide to do a Christmas film for West Michigan?
Yep. Well, real quick about the story. So the story is about Hannah, a military widow, and her daughter, and they rediscovered the joy of Christmas in a world forever changed while fighting for healing and love because they've suffered a terrible family loss.
Oh. Wow. So that starts maybe a little bit of tragedy.
It does start a little bit with a little bit of a tragedy, but we wanted to come up with something that would hook the audience quickly and get them invested emotionally into the story.
There you go. But it's feel good in the end, we hope.
Oh,
right?
yes, it's a Christmas film. There are certain points in the story that you have to hit, and we made sure to hit them all. But one of the things we were really excited about is that the story kind of has a little bit stronger of a grounding to it. We feel like it was really grounded and very reality-based. That's a reality for a lot of families out there, especially families that have members in the military and they serve overseas.
Absolutely. All right. Well, and this is shot completely in Grand Rapids.
It is entirely shot in Grand Rapids. A lot of the locations are just from me calling in relationships that I have. Our leading lady's house, that is actually my house. We shot there for a few days. We actually shoot in a local gym called Grand Rapids City Gym. It's literally like 10 minutes down the road from here. My buddy actually owns that gym. I actually helped him get that set up when they first bought the place out. And then we also shoot at Unison Church here in Grand Rapids. So a lot of local places.
Yeah, this is a grassroots. I mean, this is from the ground up. You said that you wanted to make something that was a little true to life, especially when it comes to the military. How do you ride that line, though? Because sometimes that doesn't lend itself to a creative or good story.
Yeah. I think it helps that a lot of my good buddies that I grew up with, they are actually in various branches of the military. My wedding party was pretty much almost representative of every member of the armed service. It was kind of funny. And then my brother-in-law was also a former Marine as well. So I kind of have been around those guys. I've heard some of their stories. And like I've had family that have served in the military as well. So it's something that I'm familiar with, the struggles there. And honestly, I was also inspired by a lot of those emotional videos that you see of soldiers doing surprises coming home and just the emotional weight you could see on the families' faces, especially the kids. I think that was an important thing. And that kind of played into my inspiration for the story because at the time that we were filming this movie, my family my wife and I, we had been going through an adoption. We actually had a disrupted adoption. And so we were going through that feeling of like what it was like to, in a way, lose a family member. So this film in a lot of ways was one way for me to process through those emotions at that time.
Wow. Wow. So, you know, a lot of messages here. What do you really want the takeaway to be? I mean, you're reaching out to a lot of different groups and really trying to touch them in different ways. So what do you hope people really take with them from this?
I would say the biggest takeaway I would have for this film is that it's actually a line in the movie is Christmas is very much a season for faith and hope. You know, it is a time for us to have healing. It is a time for us to find love. And also, it's just a great time to cherish those who are in your lives and, again, to show support to all the troops that serve everywhere in the world, and they give us this opportunity to celebrate this season.
Oh, well spoken, well said. And if there are any moments that are like those soldiers coming home, bring your Kleenex, because I'm the guy who always loses it when I see those videos on social too. So maybe
it's one of the ones that I like. I'm going to start crying before the movie starts.
If you've watched any of the ones on YouTube that have millions of views and they're very big reactions, then yeah, it's probably one of those.
Bring some tissues. Now this is getting a week run, right, on the big screen. Right here in town, and if tickets happen, who knows? Maybe they'll extend it. Let's get people to the theater.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of a pleasant surprise that we are getting a 1-week theatrical run here in town locally. When we made this film, we were not talking about a theatrical run, and it just so happened this film just keeps opening up doors everywhere. One of my partners is also working on securing over 20 screens in the states in New England.
Wow.
And then we also have some conversations happening down in Texas and in Atlanta, Georgia for some theatrical run there. But the theatrical run here is through a friend of mine who actually works with Celebration Cinemas. He was great to get us in the door and get us approved. So we're going to be playing at the Celebration Cinema Rivertown Mall location starting on Friday, November 1st.
Wonderful. All right, so obviously we can go to the website to find out when that is showing. And then just quickly talk about, why support local filmmaker. I feel like we're doing more and more stories about movies being made here. This is an industry that I feel like is thriving in our community.
Yeah, I think why it's important to support independent creatives is we have such a robust creative community here. That was one of the things that I love about Grand Rapids and surrounding areas. We have so many creative people. I've run into many of them. And, over the last decade or so, we've been losing a lot of them to like the hot spots of production. And, there have been a handful of us that have stayed and just tried to make it work here. And I think we continue to raise our level of technical proficiency, our storytelling, and just every aspect of our craft. I think it's just great that any support we can give to the locals to stay here, because the thing that a lot of people don't understand is like when big films like ours, like small independent films, they come here and we have to call hotels. We bring in talent, we bring in crew sometimes from out of state. So we have to talk to hotels, we have to talk to restaurants to feed our cast and crew. So we do have an economical spread out, which is really kind of beneficial. And also it's nice because no one can tell a Michigander story. I'm going to drop that because I can. No one can tell a Michigander story like we can, and frankly, we got some of the best locations for a Christmas film. We have downtown Grand Rapids, we have downtown Holland, we have like the Lake Shore, which we did film actually on Lake Michigan in December. I don't recommend it, but we actually used the beaches over in the park in Holland for our military base scenes, and it was quite cold.
Our state has such a great variety of geographic locations. Every time I see that made in Georgia at the end of the movie, I'm like, that could have been Michigan. I get a little salty about that. So bring it back to Michigan. So one way we can do that is by supporting, by buying a ticket to go see A Soldier for Christmas. As you heard, November 1st has a week-long run at Celebration Cinema's Rivertown Mall. Thank you for the time this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.